My name is J. William Jordan, and I belonged in the service in 1942, June the 29th, and I was put aboard the U.S. Navy ammunition ship. And we hauled ammunition out to the fighting ships. I volunteered to go into the service. I was working at the Boeing Aircraft Company, and I volunteered to go into the service and go in the Navy. And from then on, it was just taking us right out in the ocean, and we made different islands, and we was helping ammunition, holding ammunition out there to them, and the ship would come alongside and we'd pass the ammunition over to them. And we kept going there. I don't remember all the islands that we visited. One of them was, the first one was New Caledonia down there, and it's a little ways from Australia. We was down there quite a ways in the Philippines. And we got ammunition ships going back and forth. We'd come back to Frisco and pick up a load and go back out. And then our second trip was into Honolulu, and we unloaded there, come back to Frisco and picked up another load, and we went back clear out into the islands in the South Pacific. And that was, just kept going like that until it was about the third trip out, we coming back and run into a Jap float plane, and we run him off. And then that night, about midnight, they sent a bunch of Jap Zeros out after us. And there's a bunch of Marine flyers out there, and they took them on, and we got away from it then. So we made it safe back. And we was on our fourth trip out, we were coming back, and we coming into Frisco, and our engine, part of our engine blew up, diesel engines, and we had to go in for repairs then. And we got that all taken care of, picked up another load and went out, and we was carrying 14,000 ton of ammunition. And we went out there, and we were down toward the Solomon Islands, and we left a convoy there. A fighting ship picked us up off of there and took us on out. About 2 days after we left the convoy, we got in between two Jap submarines, about 50, 60 miles apart, and we had to watch for them for 2 days, day and night. Had somebody on the deck everywhere looking for them. And we finally got out there to our island, and the commander on the island, he called us and told us that he was glad to see us, because we had been reported sunk twice on that trip. And we got in there okay, and sat there for about 3 days, and then we left there and joined a convoy off the coast of Japan. And we armed the fleet out there at sea, never stopped. We was out there 45 days, running around out there and rearming the fleet. They would come in groups. There would be 3 groups, and one day one would come up at daylight in the morning, and then we'd work till about dark that night, and they'd leave, and the next day there'd be another group come in. We'd done that 3 days, and then we had 1 day off, and then start all over again, rearming the fleet as they come back to us. We was off out there 45 days doing that. And we got unloaded, got the ships all loaded. We got back to another island, and we was loading up again. And that's when the Japs gave up on us. And we stopped loading, and we waited for them to tell us what we was going to do, and we had about half loaded with ammunition. And they said that there was a destroyer coming in, a Jap destroyer coming in to turn himself into this island. And so we manned our guns, and watched him go by, and they come out and got him and took him in and put him in jail or whatever they done with him. And we decided we went and unloaded then and headed back for the United States. That was in November of 1945. And I was discharged in December 45. That's about it.
Okay.
We felt that we didn't want the Japs to come over here and take over our country, so a bunch of us, about 50 of us, got together in Portland and went down, signed up and went down to San Diego for training. And then they took us and put us aboard ships out there in Frisco, and we went from there to New Caledonia with our first load.
I think it's important for us to learn from World War II.
Well, I think they should at least try to protect this country from any other other countries, and I think we're going to have another war as it is with North Korea. And I'd hate to see it, but I don't know if there's any way out of it, because they said they got missiles that fire at us right now to reach the United States. So I just don't like it that way, but that's what's going to be. We're going to have to fight it in the air with missiles and stuff.